Welcome to another episode of One on One. Today, sitting beside me is the impressive Natasha Sideris, founder of Tashas Group. Hello, Natasha.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me to chat to you.
Thank you so much for inviting us into this beautiful space that we're sitting
Well, I've changed our meeting a few times with my hectic schedule, so I apologize.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. We understand. I understand you've just come back.
I have just come back from South Africa, so what I try and do at the beginning of every year and every quarter, where possible, depending on openings, is a tour of all of the restaurants. So I started in Dubai, did all of the Dubai stores, flew to Saudi Arabia, obviously went to Abu Dhabi, jumped on a plane, flew to Cape Town, did all of the Cape Town stores, all of the Joburg stores.
And how do you feel?
Extremely proud, but because I'm an A-type personality, the pride and the pat on the back last for a few milliseconds. And then I'm thinking about how do we improve, how can we make things better, where can we innovate. You know, it's a constant pushing of standards and wanting to do better.
Natasha, I want to officially start this interview by asking you, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Absolutely not. I try and fast most mornings. I'm not doing it for dietary reasons. I try not to eat in the mornings. Try not to eat before 11 or 12. I do most of the administrative thinking and emailing work in the morning and try and keep more of the creative things for the afternoon. And I just find when I eat a breakfast that it just slows me down.
Right. So typically when you do break that fast, what are you putting in your system?
Sometimes eggs, sometimes a wrap, which I shouldn't really have gluten, but I do. And if it's later in the day and I'm only breaking my fast at 12 or 1, I'll have a nice salad, that type of thing.
And where's some of your favorite places to eat?
In Dubai.
In Dubai.
So because all of our venues are in most of the upmarket glamorous areas, for example, where we're sitting now in the DIFC, I tend not to go to a lot of the high-end restaurants. And when I do, my all-time favorite is my neighbor, LPM. I've got huge respect for them. They've been in Dubai for so many years and they're still unbelievably successful with a great product. But I like to go to more off the beaten track. There's a butcher on Beach Road in Dubai, the Iranian butcher called Mizram Al-Sham, and I love going to eat there. Some of the best meats in Dubai. I love the Arabian Tea House in the Bastakia, Pitfire Pizza.
Nice.
When I'm not trying to eat healthy. Yeah, and I like being in city walks. I also enjoy going to Mythos in city walks. You know, they've just opened a nice precinct of restaurants and I enjoy their food as well.
What is the last picture on your phone?
A plan of a renovation I'm doing in Rosebank, South Africa.
So what we know about you and your professional career is that you have a very successful F&B journey.
Yes.
You started Tashas in 2005, I believe.
Correct.
Today you've expanded that chain in South Africa, in the UAE. You've got new brands.
Yes.
I want to know what we don't know about you.
Okay.
So I'd like to know who you were as young Natasha. What was it like growing up for you?
Wow. So always very driven and born with an A-type personality, extremely hard on myself. So I was, again, doesn't look like it, but I was Victrix Ladorum athletics, Victrix Ladorum swimming. I swam, did provincial swimming, basketball coach, so excelled at sports, always very academic. Until matric, where I decided that I love to party as well. So
nice.
All of the straight A's went out of the window and I balanced it a bit with some fun. But have always been driven, and I actually remember a letter that my aunt wrote me on my birthday to say that when my eyebrows knit together and I'm driven and I get that look on my face that I just want to succeed at all costs, I mustn't forget to stop and smell the roses.
Oh,
so it is something that I have to remind myself of often, surrounded by an incredibly successful and talented team who are motivated, and I think taking small pauses just to recognize the people that have helped me get so far, but also to say well done to myself. It's not an easy thing. I have to remind myself to do that. So the person that I am today is the person that I was when I was younger, except I don't really do sports anymore.
You know, that's actually quite a beautiful thing, because a lot of people have lost that sense of their younger self. And I'm happy to hear that you carry that with you.
I'm exactly the same, and I am a joker, as the people in the office will tell you. I'm always making jokes. I was like that as a kid, practical jokes, kidding around. I think you always have to be able to laugh at the end of the day. So I'm often extremely stressed, but I also know when just to laugh things off as well.
Now, you grew up in the hospitality industry, so to speak. What was that like?
So I swore that I would never get involved in hospitality because my dad was a restaurateur, and you know, in those days restaurants would close on a Monday. It was the only day that I would get to see my dad. He'd pick us up from school and we'd go to, you from Joburg, he'd take us to the Doll's House on Leopoldsa Avenue, and we'd eat a toasted steak, and he'd take us to a movie. And that was the only time that I got to see my father, because he spent every waking moment in the restaurants, working really, really long hours and very hard. And I just said, I'm not going to do that. Where I've been very blessed and very lucky is that we've been able to transition from 1 or 2 restaurants to, at the end of this year, will be 42. Wow. It'll be 38 restaurants, 4 retail concepts, which is collective, with almost 10 brands. So I think you've got to be careful in hospitality, because for a lot of people, it's their passion. They just want to own one restaurant and just have that one store to look after. It certainly for me wouldn't have been very fulfilling. I think what I enjoy about my role is that I get to work on different interiors, create new concepts, work on the marketing, work on the food across a number of different brands. But no, growing up I thought there's no ways I'm going to do this. Just watching my dad, I was like, it's tough. And it is tough.
So what made you change your mind?
I'm good at it.
I like that. What do you think you would be doing if you weren't doing this?
So either psychology, which I did study, and I did my BA in psych, or interior design, architecture.
Okay, I see that.
I love design.
Natasha, what do you attribute your success to? And I know it can't only be just one thing, but what's the kind of like the thing that comes to mind when somebody asks you, what do you owe all of this to?
My people. I don't even have to think about it. It's leave that I've got the drive. Lots of people have got drive. Lots of people have got good ideas, and lots of people have got a vision. It's all about the people. If you don't have the right team around you, and you don't choose the right people, and you don't motivate your team, nothing will work. Everything is about the people. If you look after your people, they'll look after the rest. And for me, it's no doubt it's the people that I've surrounded myself with.
And how did you perfect that?
Within the restaurants, we try and hire people who've got the hospitality quotient that Danny Meyer talks about. Do they have hospitality? Do they love people? Do they want to look after people? And then I think from a head office level, it hasn't only been about experience. Experience is important, but I think just about attitude. Yeah, choosing the people with the right attitude. We've had some misses, some people have joined and left, but for the most part, I've got staff that have worked for me since the start of Tashas, actually before Tashas.
That's a long time.
When I used to own a Nino's franchise, and we're talking about 22 years ago, I've got some people who are still with me 22 years later. That
speaks to you as a leader as well. So
I'd like to think so.
And obviously I would need to ask your staff, but I'm asking you, what do you think they think about you? What type of leadership qualities do you have that make them want to stay so long with you?
I think they think I meddle in everything. Waiting to see a Fed smiling.
It's probably.
I think they would say that I'm fair, but I'm tough. That I'm a hard taskmaster, but that I also like to reward. I can be a little bit impatient if I have to talk about my faults. Sometimes I need to listen more. I can, have a knee jerk and fly off the handle. I think that's got to do with the amount of things that I've got to deal with. Sometimes I can be a bit impatient. Yeah, I think that's what they'd say.
And what is?
I think I would like to hope they think they know that I love them, and I would stand by them and support them. That's important for me.
I mean, if they're still here, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
What do you wish you knew then that you know now?
Spend more time with my family. My mom and dad are gone, and if I could turn back the clock, yes, work's important and everything that I've done is important, but I didn't carve out enough time to be with them. They both died very young, and I regret it. It's a regret, and will always be.
Were they, sorry for your loss.
No, it's fine.
Were they around to see the success? Because your dad must have been
They saw some of it. So my dad saw, of course, the Nino's part of our journey, because he helped with that, and then Athol, Bedford, Melrose, Morningside. So 4 only. And my mom saw about 8 or 10 plus the first Dubai store, though she was too ill to travel and to come and see it. And so, I mean, I suppose they saw
what they saw.
A bit of it.
Right. I watched a video where you gave another interview and you spoke about the balance. Does it exist? I mean, to achieve such success, there's so much sacrifice people don't see.
It certainly doesn't exist for me. It's not good because it's not a good example for my team. And every year, I try and work on myself. I am a little bit more relaxed than I was, and I am a little bit more balanced than I was. It's something I'd like to work on more, but certainly not for me. I find it difficult. My work is all consuming.
It's always on.
Except when I go on a holiday. So I'm particularly good about switching off on holiday. So when I go away, people know they're not going to be able to get hold of me. My phone's off. In fact, last year I went to Greece for 2 weeks and I left my Dubai phone here. And I took another phone with another number. No one could get hold of me. I have a team, and so I'm able to do that. So in that way, but in my day-to-day, I certainly do not have a balanced life, which is not good.
Good for you for leaving your Dubai phone here when you went on vacation.
Yeah.
What is the hardest part about your job that people wouldn't necessarily guess?
The juggling of all the different facets that it requires to run a business of this size, coupled with all of the different aspects of running restaurants. So you just got to think about it. So now you've got a microcosm. We're sitting here in Avli. The flowers, the supplier, did they bring the right ingredients? Have the staff come to work dressed properly? Is the music at the right pitch? Is the entertainment for the brunch right? Has everyone arrived at work? Have they over-prepped? Have they under-prepped? Or 1 million variables. Then you have to take that to a macro level. And then at head office is, have we invested enough time in marketing? What's HR doing? Are we talking to our people enough? Have we thought about enough innovation on the menu? Are we maintaining our spaces? I mean, I walked in here now and I can see it, the LED light on the left, the cover has cracked and you can see it's making a ripple on the bar. Those are small details that a lot of people wouldn't notice, but for me, that thing now,
It's bugging you.
well, that and the different colored fabric on that chair is...
It's bugging you.
It's bugging me right now, yes.
Yeah. A-type personality, it's bugging you. So it is very clear, based on your years of success, sustainability, longevity, whatever you want to call it in this industry, that you've got the juice. You're good at what you do.
That is the difference between people who've been around for a very long time, and I use LPM as an example, is that takes a lot of grit, and it also takes a relentless attention to detail every day. It's tiring. So a lot of people give up because to do this and to turn up and turn out every day, 365 days of the year, is not easy. I've been doing this for 30 years as a career in F&B, and Tashas is, as a group, so the brand Tashas is 19 years old, and as a group we started Flamingo Room in Dubai 6-7 years ago. Am I right? Anyway, I think 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to turn up every day and worry about that and that and that and that, exhausting. Very exhausting. So that has to come from inside. Either you love what you do. I've always said, the day I walk into my restaurant, if I see a piece of paper on the floor and I don't have the energy to pick up that piece of paper on the floor, or to mention the LED light that's not right, that's the day I'm gonna sell my business. Up till now,
Hasn't happened yet.
hasn't happened yet.
What do you think is that motivation that keeps you in this industry for such a long time?
So I used to be motivated by my own success. I love to be successful and I love to push myself and be driven. And of course, financial success. My dad made money and lost money, and I think if we have to get on a psychological level, maybe there's some insecurities about having financial security. Very important for me. Now that I've achieved a lot of the success and I do have the financial security, it's now about my people. I owe it to my team to carry on with what I'm doing, to leave a legacy that they will then be able to take over one day. People have done a lot for me and have sacrificed their own time and lives to get behind my dream.
Right.
And I'd like to see a lot of people benefiting from that.
I love what you said about financial success. It's not something that a lot of people openly speak about. I love what I do, but I also love the money that it makes me.
Well, obviously, otherwise, why are you in business? I mean, I think
that.
that would be a lie. People
Yes,
are lying.
people are lying.
They are lying, of course. A big part of it is, listen, I think you've got to be passionate and driven, and then the money will come. But you're passionate and driven because you also want to make money. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not like you're doing something out of charity. Of course, we try and donate back and give charity back and look after our teams and look after our staff and do all of those good things. But the commercial motivation is a big part of it.
Of course, it's real.
Definitely.
You mentioned that you love to be financially secure, and you've reached that point now in your life.
Yeah.
How do you take care of yourself? How do you spoil yourself? What are some of the things you do for yourself?
The most amazing holidays.
Okay.
And no expense is spared. I want to stay in the best hotels. I want to travel first class. I want to be able to take my friends to amazing dinners. I love a beautiful holiday.
Good for you.
Other than that, besides 1 or 2 expensive watches, I don't really spend much. I don't wear makeup, so none on that. I don't wash my own hair.
Tell me more.
Because I'm lazy and in a hurry, so I don't wash my own hair. I just run down to the salon and they wash my hair. That's an indulgence for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it gets the job done. You don't
Exactly.
have to do that. Saves you time.
Well, I hate washing my own hair.
I mean, I should do that because it takes me about 30 minutes
oh,
to
there
wash
we
this
go.
hair.
I'm like, no. You've got much more hair than me.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So, all of your brands are extremely unique and successful, and even Tashas, every Tashas is different.
Yes.
Is there a method to creating concepts?
There's definitely a method. A lot of it is intuitive from me. And then obviously there's a template that through the years that I've developed. What does the interior look like? How does that interior inform the food? Or does the food inform the interior? You know, then what do the uniforms look like? What is the music style? I think the best example of that would be our latest baby, which is Bungalow 34. You know, I wanted to create this Mediterranean Riviera restaurant. And then we said, I wanted it to be nostalgic. I didn't want it to be a modern Riviera, a nostalgic Riviera. So then going back and looking at images of what does that mean? What do the salt and peppers need to look like? What do the plates need to look like? You know, how does the food communicate? What's the music style? So there's definitely a checklist, but that first initial inspiration is intuitive.
One thing I will say, when you mentioned you wanted to sort of go back in time and create a nostalgic feel at Bungalow 34, when I visited Bungalow 34, the playlist evoked that very sense.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you said that. We spent a lot of time on it. And I mean, it's funny because a lot of people who aren't my age and don't understand nostalgia and maybe didn't go to places like that with their parents would even walk into the restaurant. I'm talking about the Gen Zs who haven't had that opportunity, or say, this feels like old and something cool from the past, which is what I wanted.
So everybody has a Dubai story.
Yeah.
Before you came to the UAE, how did you come to the UAE?
So I had, I think, 10 or 12 Tashas, and I started getting a lot of inquiries from around the globe. So from Australia, United States, Europe, and Dubai. Being the control freak that I am, I immediately crossed off Australia. Too far, different time zone, can't control it. Same for America, vast, can't control it. Europe for me, I think, is a difficult market because of the language barriers in each country, besides Greece, which we now are looking at opening in Greece. And Dubai made the most sense because 8-hour flight. I didn't think I was going to move here. I thought I was going to commute between South Africa and Dubai. 8-hour flights. If there's a problem in the afternoon, you can be there in the evening. Problem in the evening, you can be there the next morning. I mean, you're from South Africa, so I don't know if you feel the same way, but in many ways, like from a lifestyle point of view, Dubai and South Africa are quite similar. It's a mall culture.
Agreed.
It's a driving culture. And then on the...
Diverse as well.
It's very diverse. And then, because I'm Greek, so I'm South African, but my
Greek
nationality is Greek. I find the Arabic culture to be very similar to the Greek, warm, hospitable,
food-driven.
Like it's food-driven and very much about family. So I've loved Dubai since the first days of coming. I really enjoy it, and I think the local community has really supported us. Of course, the expats also support, but I think the Emirati customer has been a massive support. In many ways, Tashas is a homegrown brand for the Emiratis.
Yeah, they really appreciate what you've given them.
Well, also don't forget that I ran Galleria for 2 years every day myself, open to close.
Tell me about that.
It was brutal. So we opened and we were quiet for the first 3 days, really quiet. And I remember calling a friend of mine who's also a mentor, and I was like, what are we going to do? It's really quiet. And then I said, you know what? I'm not going to call you again. I'm just going to focus on what's happening in the restaurants. And if it's for 4 customers, then it's for 4 customers. Hopefully the word's going to spread. Not a word of a lie. A day later, the whole of Dubai descended on Tashas Galleria. We used to run queues. We still run queues. But in the early days, we would start running a queue at 10 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. I remember 17 hours working straight, not having time to go and pee. So we are talking intense work. And then we realized it was going to be a success, started bringing more people to help, and then opened Tashas in Al Bateen in Abu Dhabi, which is our busiest store.
I know, I've gone past that strip so many times and I couldn't see a seat open.
Can serve over 1,000 people a day.
What did it feel like for you to watch Tashas cross over to the Middle East and succeed?
Again, as I said, extremely proud for a millisecond, and then like, okay, now what do we need to do? How do we need to change the menus? Are the uniforms right? What else can we do? Where are we going to open? It's short. Of course, when I'm recognized and I'm doing an interview like this, I'm like, oh, well, wow, we really have done well.
Yes, you have.
But in between those bouts of recognition, or because I really don't have much quiet time to reflect, and when I do have quiet time, I'm reflecting on what needs to get better, not on really what we've done. It's a fault of mine. I need to work on it. I need to
pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, I think I do say thanks to the team a lot, but not to myself. I'm very hard on myself. Yeah. Also, there's a competitive environment, eh?
Very.
Super competitive. So it's not like South Africa.
No.
South Africa's become more competitive, but in South Africa, when you create a brand like Tashas Le Parc or Le Parc by Tashas, you create it, and that brand is fresh for a very long time. People don't get bored quickly because there's nothing else. Here, you can create something, and the very next minute there's something else that people are talking about. And the next, it's very, 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 it's competitive, and you have to really stay focused on only worrying about your own backyard. The minute in Dubai you start worrying about what your neighbor's doing and what this one is doing and what they're doing, and are they promoting Valentine's Day but we don't, and are they doing this, and start questioning yourself, it's game over. You just got to do this and say, okay, is my food good? Are my interiors beautiful? Are my staff happy and delivering good service? I don't worry about what anyone else is doing.
I love this interview. Thank you for saying that.
Thank you for asking me great questions.
You know, when you said you've got to focus on what you're doing, because one thing I think that is overlooked is as many F&B concepts are opening, it's because that many closed.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a revolving door, but that's never really seen. We always talk about what's new, what's new.
People are closing on a daily basis in Dubai. On a weekly basis, restaurants are closing. But there are some unbelievable players on the market. If you allow yourself to get consumed by what other people are doing, you'll take your eye off your own ball. And it's not your business, that's their business, and there's people doing amazing things, groups that are doing amazing things. If you get caught up in that, I promise you it's game over. You have to worry about your own backyard.
That's such fantastic advice.
Thank you.
Now, I know asking a restaurateur which is their favorite restaurant is like asking which is their favorite kid. I'm not going to do that to you, but I'm going to ask you to at least give me, because all of your kids...
Soft spot.
Yes. Who has the softest spot in your heart?
Okay, well, obviously Tashas, because I started... That was the birthplace of all of this, and is the brand that I think that we can open the most of around the globe. But the one that's got a soft spot.
Tell me.
The one I'm sitting in.
I knew it. I knew it. That's probably why you picked the location. I figured.
It's the one I'm sitting in. It's because I'm Greek, and I've always wanted to pay sort of an homage and I wanted to celebrate Greece, not in a typical way, island style, blue and white. It's a tribute to Athens, this space. And I think if you come here on a Thursday or a Friday or a Saturday night, the energy in this place is electric. It really, really is. It's got a, I don't know, it's extra special.
It also has fantastic brunch.
Thank you. It does have a fantastic
Yes.
brunch. Yes.
So,
which is new.
out of all of the places, Tashas is your firstborn, shall we say,
firstborn,
right?
yeah.
And Avle by Tashas is the soft spot special child at the moment.
Exactly.
Right.
I love them all. I mean, Flamingo Room's also unbelievable. Our new brand, African Lounge, bungalows. Extra special because we took a site that no one wanted because they couldn't make it a beach club. So no one wanted it, and I said, no, let's give people a beach restaurant in a location where you're not staring at a million buildings. You can just look out to sea and feels almost like you've stepped out of Dubai. And the fact that we made it work is amazing. Listen, another reason that I love this restaurant is it used to be my partner's old restaurant, which was called La Luz, and it never worked. The entrance used to be, the main entrance was here, and that was all glassed up. And when we took it over, I believe that some of the other restaurateurs were taking bets that this thing would fail. It was the hardest opening of my life. It was very quiet in the beginning. We launched with like a souvla, which was the slow cooked meats that didn't work. And I just kept pushing. And one day it clicked. We had no people for lunch. We used to have 2 or 3 tables for lunch. And now we have 80, 100, 120 covers for lunch. So I think this is also, all of our other openings, we've been blessed. We open and they're busy. This has been a testament of personality and perseverance. We just worked it and worked it and worked it until it worked.
When you say personality, you mean the space?
No, the staff and
Okay.
ours personality and determination to really make it work.
I think what's interesting sometimes for me, everybody knows who you are, they know your success, they can trace it back. But when you came to the Middle East and your venues became successful, they sort of got to meet you through your venues here, but you were always a big powerhouse from South Africa. I mean, people know Tashas for a very, very long time.
19 years.
It's a long time. So what advice do you have for somebody who is young, budding F&B enthusiast, and they want to be just as successful as you one day?
First of all, before they even start, they've got to know they're going to make a lot of sacrifice. Because this doesn't come easy. A lot of personal sacrifice. Sacrifice of time, sacrifice of relationships. I'm not talking about not having friends. I'm saying when your friends are out partying, you might not be able to do that. So you need to understand that you've got to be very, very focused. I would urge them not to overly read too many business books and take advice that's like properly conservative, because I don't have a business background, nor am I a chef. I'm a restaurateur, but I didn't study this. So I didn't let traditional rules around business hinder me. Don't be scared to take risks. Take a risk, take a punt. If you've got a vision, listen to other people, but if you need to have the strength of conviction in your idea. I think a lot of people might have something in their minds and then they listen to too much noise and then that thing gets taken on another direction. Choose the right partner. I've been very blessed in the Middle East. My partner's a gentleman called Mubarak bin Fahad, and he has been an unbelievable partner. He sticks to his lane. He lets me do what I do. I let him do what he does. So what he does really well, I don't interfere in. What I do really well, he doesn't interfere in. And I think a lot of young entrepreneurs in Dubai trip up by choosing the wrong partners who want to meddle too much. And try and have fun.
That is very practical advice. I really like that. Is there anything super exciting that you're cooking up that you want to share with us?
So the first thing we're doing is on the 4th of March, and this is not a new concept for anyone, this is for the staff. We are closing all of our venues in Dubai.
On the 4th of March?
4th of March, every single venue is closing.
Okay.
We are throwing a staff party at Nikki Beach.
Oh, can we come?
Club, you can come. 950 people in total. And we are going to celebrate our team. I'm flying in a DJ from Mykonos. And we're just going to let the staff let their hair down, and it's a thank you from me and the head office team to all the people who work in the restaurants, the sculleries, the guys who are washing the dishes, the busboys, the barmen, the waiters, the kitchen staff. It's their day. So that's really exciting. And then we're creating a new brand called Nala. It's the last and final brand. I know my team's going to say, yeah.
Last and final brand.
No more brands.
Are you sure,
No,
Natasha?
I'm positive.
We're hearing this now from
Last
you.
and final brand. You can hold me to it.
You've heard that.
You can hold me to it.
Okay, you've heard that.
Someone came to me the other day and said, please, let's do a steakhouse. I'm like, just stay away from me. I'm not doing any new brands. So Nala is going to be a luxury fast food. Opening in Al Sakal. It's been on the cards for a long time, and I know people have heard us talking about it for a while. We had some MEP issues and some trade license issues. We're now finally over those, so we're building our training center and academy at Al Sakal. So our culinary director will have her kitchen there. Our beverage director will have his bar there, and the front face of it is this luxury fast food called Nala. So you're basically going to get Tashas quality meals, and we're aiming to do it in under 12 minutes. Go to the counter, order your salad, order your breakfast, order your sandwich, and the whole goal is, and it's going to be freshly made, so not pre-prepped.
Right.
Nothing in fridges, pre-prepared, so all made on order.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think so.
So what is next for you personally?
I think this year, we're opening 8 new restaurants this year, so we've got 2 Tashas happening in Saudi, Al Ain, Tashas in Al Ain. I don't know if Sharjah will happen this year or at the beginning of next year. We've got 2 happening in South Africa, and of course we've got Nala in the Academy, and Avli in Bahrain, which is very exciting. And for me, on a personal level, I would like to A, find some balance, but B, get to a point, not that I don't trust my team, I do, but personally on my side, letting the reins go just ever so slightly, so that I can start focusing a bit more on my health, so that the team can also get some more independence. I'd like over the next 3 to 5 years to be only consulting to the business on interiors and food and marketing, and let the team worry about the rest of the operational and administrative stuff. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And at the age of 50, I'm going to be 49 this year, so at the age of about 52, I'd like to not be involved so much in the day-to-day nitty-gritty. This is the things I like, you know, the creative, and of course the food that I'm going to taste later. And then early next year we're launching a Tasha's homeware range. So you'll be able to buy Tasha's plates, glassware, linen for your home, anything to do with the dining room and the lounge. Beautiful vases, salad servers, salad spoons. So we're doing that. We were hoping to launch at the end of this year, but I think it's ambitious. Probably be next year.
Well, I've followed your career for a very long time from our hometown, South Africa, and I have to say, I really hope that for you. I think you deserve it, and I think it's time.
Thank you very much.
And we obviously want to see, you know, more of you and hear more from you, but in a different way.
Thank you.
Before you go,
yes,
I want to do something fun with you that we do on this show.
Tell me.
It's a this or that type questions.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shout a couple of items to you, and you're just gonna come back with whatever resonates the loudest in your mind. Okay? Ready?
Yeah.
This is the tough questions.
Let's
now.
go.
Red or white?
White.
Sugar or spice?
Spice.
Day or night?
Oof. Night.
Okay. Tomato sauce or mustard?
Tomato sauce any day.
Nice. Now this one is just for you, and if you know, you know, but only you will know.
Yeah.
Braai or potjie?
Braai.
Thank you so much, Natasha.
Thank
it has
you.
been a pleasure.
Very nice interview and refreshing, because normally I just can fall asleep with my interviews because it's all the same questions. This was fun.
Thank you. You were
Thanks.
fun. Thank you so much for your time.